Welcome to this explainer. Okay, if you're gearing up for the UCAT, the University Clinical Aptitude Test, we need to completely shift how you're looking at it right now. The UCAT isn't just your standard academic test of knowledge. No, it is a grueling 2-hour mental marathon. And, just like a physical marathon, you absolutely cannot just show up on race day and expect to cross the finish line. You need a highly structured, strategic training regimen to actually build up that cognitive stamina.
So here's our roadmap for today. First, designing your revision script. Second, building the ultimate study timeline. Third, we'll cover avoiding common UCAT traps. Fourth, conquering quantitative reasoning. And finally, mastering test day.
Let me ask you something kind of blunt. Are you actually practicing for the UCAT? Or are you just practicing being slow and inaccurate? Honestly, grinding through thousands of unstructured practice questions is the absolute fastest way to burn yourself out by July. Doing 300 random questions doesn't make you better, it just ingrains bad habits. It is time to train smarter, not just harder.
Let's dive into Phase 1, designing your revision script. So there's this core principle in educational design called chunking. Think about it. You can't eat an entire cake in one bite, right? Well, you also can't tackle all the UCAT sections and question types simultaneously without basically frying your brain. Cognitive overload is real. You've got to narrow your focus down into really specific, manageable objectives. That's how you maintain a highly active, high-retention learning state.
To master this exam, you kind of have to become your own teacher. Think of a scriptwriter. They define their objectives, create a storyboard, and then review it. A top-scoring UCAT student does the exact same thing, to shift from passive reading to active learning. You learn the core technique, you use timed practice as your storyboard, and then, this is key, you finish with a rigorous, reflective review. Every single step has to be totally deliberate.
Moving on to Phase 2, the ultimate study timeline.
All right, let's turn that strategy into action and hit that sweet spot of about 150 to 200 hours of quality prep. But here's the deal. You must pick your plan based on your actual exam date, not just how motivated you feel today. Testing in mid-July, you want the 8-week plan starting in May, front-loading your technique. Testing in August, go with the 6-week plan. But if you're jumping in late July for a 4-week intensive crash course, brace yourself. You're looking at 4 to 5 hours daily, hitting heavy mock exams.
Now, regardless of the timeline you're on, the reflective method is your secret weapon. Attempting the questions, that's literally just step 1. An hour of deliberate practice where you carefully review wrong answers, diagnose your exact error patterns, and then explicitly drill those specific weaknesses, that is worth 3 hours of mindless question grinding. Reflection is what actually moves the needle for your score.
All right, Phase 3, avoiding common UCAT traps.
Welcome to the sparring ring. Let's do a rapid-fire run-through the traps that constantly trip up even the smartest applicants, because dodging these means easy points. First up, totally underestimating the time pressure. Second, ignoring keyboard shortcuts. Guys, you have to use Alt-N for next and Alt-F to flag. Clicking your mouse just wastes precious seconds. Third, overusing your whiteboard for really simple math. Fourth, stubbornly fixating on one crazy hard question. And lastly, leaving answers blank. The UCAT does not penalize you for wrong answers. Leaving it blank is a guaranteed 0, so always guess if you have to.
It really boils down to this. You've got to trade the comfort of being a perfectionist for the ruthless efficiency of a strategic test taker. The average student wastes seconds clicking around, relies on clunky tools, and panics when things get tough. But the top 1% score? They operate totally differently. They use their shortcuts, rely on sharp mental math, and they are absolute masters of the strategic skip.
Time for Phase 4, conquering quantitative reasoning.
Let's step into the heavyweight bout. This is where your math skills meet absolute, severe time pressure. 40 seconds. That is exactly how many seconds you get per question in this section. 36 questions packed into just 24 minutes. Speed, estimation, and approximation, they are about to become your absolute best friends.
And remember, nobody is handing you a formula sheet, so memorizing these key rules is going to save you from falling right into the examiner's traps. Lock down that compound interest formula. Keep in mind that tax brackets are calculated in staggered portions, definitely not a flat rate. You'll need to know your surface area and volume for geometry. Oh, and watch out for sneaky unit changes. Always double check. Are they asking for the answer in centimeters when the data was given in meters? That gets people all the time.
Look, to beat that 40-second clock, mental math is the way to go. Brush up on your times tables all the way up to 15. You should really only use the on-screen calculator when it's absolutely necessary. It's clunky, it eats up time, and it won't even save your previous answers. If you do have to use it, start building that muscle memory right now by exclusively using the physical numerical keypad on the right side of your keyboard.
And finally, Phase 5, Mastering Test Day.
You've built your script, survived the sparring, you've learned the math, now let's talk logistics. Following this countdown protects you from peaking too early. 1 month out, finalize those weak spots. 1 week out, you need to prioritize sleep and step away from the late-night cram sessions. And the day before? Wind down completely. Literally, absolutely no mock exams. Taking a mock 24 hours before the real thing will not make you smarter. It's just going to drain your battery. On test day, show up 15 minutes early, ID ready to go, and keep your stress levels at absolute zero.
You got to remember, there's no food or drink allowed inside that testing room. Managing your nutrition beforehand is crucial for surviving 2 straight hours of intense focus. Go for a low glycemic index breakfast, like oats, for sustained energy. Drink water, sure, but don't overdo it. You do not want to be desperate for the bathroom while that clock is ticking. Skip the giant coffees to avoid a mid-test caffeine crash, and strategically use those 1-minute instruction screens between sections to just breathe and reset your brain.
So I want to leave you with this one final provocative thought. The UCAT doesn't just test your aptitude, it fundamentally tests your grit. Are you truly ready for the 2-hour marathon? The prep is intense, for sure, but structured resilience, deliberate practice, and knowing exactly how to play the game, that's the ultimate key to conquering this exam. Good luck with your training regimen, everyone, and I will catch you in the next explainer.